7. Development. A. Fertilization occurs in the oviduct, fallopian tube. 1. A fertilized egg is called a zygote. 2. Fertilization restores the complete set of chromosomes, so the zygote is diploid, 23 from the egg plus 23 from the sperm equals 46. B. A zygote develops in the following order. 1. Cleavage, a form of mitosis when cells divide rapidly but do not differentiate, forms the embryo. 2. Differentiation. Cells specialize to form tissues and organs. 3. Implantation in the wall of the uterus. 4. Fetus. Most major organs are formed, but not completed. Continues to grow through cell division, mitosis. C. The placenta transfers nutrients and oxygen from the mother's blood into the blood of the fetus through the process of diffusion. 1. The blood of the mother and fetus do not mix. 2. The fetus is attached to the placenta by the umbilical cord. 3. Waste produced by the fetus is also removed by the placenta. Waste, CO2, urea, salts, diffuse from the placenta into the mother's blood. Since the fetus does not eat solid food, it does not have to eliminate feces. D. The child is vulnerable to alcohol, drugs, whatever the mother takes in, because organs and systems are still developing. Fertilization restores the diploid of chromosomes. 2N equals homologous pairs. So 1 from egg, 1 from sperm, 2N. Early development. Fertilization, A, forms a single-celled zygote, which begins the process of mitosis, B, which eventually creates a layered ball of cells that forms the embryo. Later development. The fetus pictured here is nearly ready to be born. Note the umbilical cord, 5, placenta, 6, and amniotic sac, 7. False. The egg is fertilized in the uterus. True. The sperm fertilizes the egg in the oviduct, or fallopian tube. False. The baby grows in the mother's stomach. True. The baby develops inside the mother's uterus. It has nothing to do with the stomach. Genetics. 1. Chromosomes. A. Humans have 46 chromosomes, or 23 homologous pairs. 1. Homologous. Chromosomes with the same size, shape, and types of genes. B. Chromosome pairs carry genes for the same traits. 1. Most organisms have 2 genes for each trait, 1 from each parent, 1 on each member of the homologous pair. 2. Alleles are the option for the gene or trait. For example, the gene is for the trait of coat color in cats, while the alleles, options for that gene, are black or gray. C. Sex chromosomes. In humans, females are XX and males are XY. 1. The Y chromosome is much smaller than the X, so it does not have the same genes. This means many genes on the X chromosome do not have a partner, so if a male has a recessive trait on the X chromosome, the Y chromosome will not be able to hide it with a dominant gene. So, this makes male more likely to have some traits, like color blindness. These are called sex-linked traits. A karyotype shows all 23 pairs of human chromosomes. Note the last pair identifies this as a male. XY, male. 2. Chromosomes and genes. A. Each chromosome has hundreds or thousands of genes. B. Each gene codes for a particular protein. 1. While genes determine our traits, the environment can affect expression of genes. For example, temperature can affect how certain traits appear. 3. DNA. A. DNA is the molecule that makes up your genes and chromosomes. 1. Analogy. If your genes and chromosomes are the instruction manual for your body, DNA would be the paper it is printed on. B. The shape of the DNA molecule is a double helix, which resembles a twisted ladder. C. The shape of DNA allows it to replicate, copy itself almost perfectly. D. DNA is made of 4 bases, A, T, C, and G. 1. Base pairs A and T, and C and G. RNA pairs are A and U, and C and G. DNA replicating using the base pair rule AT-CG. DNA replication happens during interphase, before mitosis occurs. 4. Protein synthesis. This is how genes control your body. A. A codon is a sequence of 3 bases in DNA. Each codon represents a specific amino acid. Ribosomes assemble amino acids in the same order that they are listed in the DNA codons. The amino acids join together to make a protein. The order of the amino acids, determined by the DNA sequence, determines the shape of the protein. The shape of the protein determines its function. Therefore, the sequence of bases in DNA determines the functions of all proteins. The proteins build cells and the body and control cells in the body. The order of DNA bases in your genes determines the order of amino acids in your proteins, which determines the protein shape, which determines the protein's function. Therefore, how your body functions depends on the order of the bases in your genes. B. RNA carries the genetic code to ribosomes. 1. mRNA, messenger RNA, copies the DNA code for the gene in the nucleus. mRNA then goes to the ribosomes. 2. tRNA, transfer RNA, then brings the correct amino acids to the ribosomes by matching bases with mRNA. Row 1, DNA. Row 2, mRNA copies one strand of DNA. tRNA brings correct amino acids by. 5. Mutations. Any change in the genetic material of an organism. A. Can only be passed on if mutations happen in reproductive cells, sperm or egg. B. Common mutagenic agents include radiation, chemicals, and viruses. 1. Mutagenic agent. Any environmental factor that causes a mutation. C. Gene mutations may cause a change in a gene, which can change the shape of a protein. This will have an effect on the way the protein works, if it still works at all. 1. Gene mutations are caused when DNA bases are in some way altered, such as a missing base, added base, or changed base. D. Chromosome mutations are usually caused when a person inherits too many or too few chromosomes. 1. Chromosome mutations affect many genes at once. Most are lethal, cause death. 2. Down syndrome. Non-lethal mutation caused by inheriting an extra chromosome 21. Note: only extra chromosome 21 causes Down syndrome.